Narratives. The first part. From the Neanderthals to the Elamites.
The emergence of humans in Iran goes back to the Paleolithic era. Before that, remains of early humans have been found in these areas, dating back to about 1 to 2 million years ago. The Paleolithic period is divided into the Old Stone Age, Middle Stone Age, and New Stone Age. The Old Stone Age covers roughly 3 million to 100,000 years ago, which is when the first Homo erectus, or upright man, appeared. But we, as Homo sapiens, have been around for about 200,000 years. At the same time as Homo erectus, 6 other types of humans also emerged. One of these species was the Neanderthals, who interbred with Homo sapiens, and their genes are still present in us today. Neanderthals came to the Middle East and Central Asia from Western and Central Europe about 300,000 years ago, and they ruled over a large part of the land until about 30,000 years ago. So, Iran was within their territory, and their remains have been found in caves in northern and western Iran. The Middle Paleolithic period dates back to around 40,000 years ago, which is when Neanderthals set foot on the Iranian Plateau along with their hunts. South of Qazvin, the Cord Castle Cave is one of the most beautiful sites in Iran, where the rulers before us, the Neanderthals, lived. This species of humans was eventually driven to extinction by our ancestors. The discovery of over 6,000 artifacts from human efforts and animal bones is evidence of these humans settling in this cave, which was a great spot for skinning animals and cutting them up. It's a cave where Neanderthals lived for thousands of years. In the Vesna cave, they also found a tooth that turned out to belong to a Neanderthal child. Most of the discoveries from the Paleolithic era have come from caves, as these caves are great places to find their remains in smaller, more concentrated areas. The discovery of tools made by humans and broken bones associated with these tools dates back to the Paleolithic period and was created by Neanderthals. This means that when our ancestors, the Homo sapiens, hadn't yet entered Iran, the Neanderthals were just starting their migration from Africa. They still had about 5,000 years before they would step onto the Iranian Plateau. Thanks to their higher intelligence, more extensive social systems, and greater creativity, they were able to increase their reproduction and eventually push the Neanderthal population out of this region. The same thing happened to Neanderthals in other parts of the world, leading to the extinction of all of them. During the New Stone Age, Homo sapiens not only made tools from stone but also from animal bones and horns. After that, the Stone Age or the First Agricultural Revolution began, leading to settled life and the domestication of animals. The city of Shush is one of the oldest known settlements from this period. Over the course of several hundred years, Homo sapiens gradually developed various civilizations through advancements in agriculture. One of these civilizations was the Elamite civilization, which emerged in the southwest of Iran.
If you're enjoying these ancient tales, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the fascinating stories from history.
Around 3,000 years before Christ, part of the land of Baca, which was the first village in the Arabian Peninsula, moved toward the Mediterranean. Some of them settled along the banks of the Nile River in Egypt, while the Akkadians and Phoenicians settled in the eastern Mediterranean. A portion of this population established themselves in the region centered around Akkad, which later became known as Babylon, and the Assyrians settled in the northernmost area centered around Nineveh. Then, migrants from Bakka headed east and reached the shores of the Persian Gulf in Mesopotamia, where the first Elamite and Sumerian states were formed. The Elamites were neither Aryan nor Semitic. They were actually related to the Dravidians of India. Elam was the strongest and longest-lasting civilization on the Iranian Plateau, existing before the arrival of the Aryans. The Elamite kingdom included Khuzestan, Lorestan, the area behind the Bakhtiari Mountains, and Shush. Their government was a monarchy, and they had two capitals centered around Shush and Anshan in Fars. They referred to their land as Heltemti, which means land of the gods. At first, the Elamite government was under the control of the Sumerians. So, the Elamites adopted many features of Sumerian civilization, including combining Sumerian cuneiform script with their own pictographic writing. However, the Sumerians were never a unified nation. Instead, they had independent city-states, each with its own government. In fact, it was the Akkadians who referred to them as the land of civilized kings. Sumerian civilization was a hub of innovation and creativity, laying the foundations for many sciences and technologies we use today. One of their most important achievements was the invention of the clock and the solar calendar, which brought order to human society. They divided time into hours, minutes, and seconds, and created lunar and solar calendars based on the cycles of the moon and the sun, which helped them plan their agriculture and religious ceremonies. The Elamites, through their bravery in warfare, managed to break free from Sumerian rule and establish their own independent empire. However, the Babylonians and Assyrians were the main enemies of the Elamites. Before the Elamites, the Sumerians, Assyrians, and Babylonians had their own civilizations, but these were quite primitive. You could say that the first written records in cuneiform belonged to the Elamite civilization. They were the first people to have written documents and conducted administrative tasks with written instructions. The painted pottery dating back to around 3500 BC found in Shush, located in Elam, showcases an advanced period with geometric designs, a unique style of human figures, and animal shapes, reflecting the art and creativity of this ancient civilization. In 2280 BC, when the Elamites were at the height of their power, they occupied and plundered the Sumerian capital and captured their special god. Sumer became a colony and a tribute-paying state to Elam. 100 years later, Rim-Sin, the ruler of Elam, completely destroyed the joint state of Sumer and Akkad. After that, Sumer was never recognized as an independent state again. The Elamites, like the Sumerians, believed that the world was filled with spirits and forms. They thought that spirits resided in dark places in the forest and made statues of their gods. So, we can say they were idol worshippers. During the height of Elamite power, they engaged in trade with the Semites, and Semitic culture blended with Elamite culture, while Babylonian writing became popular among the people. The king of this period, Antashkel, built the ancient city of Durantashi and constructed the ziggurat of Choga Zanbil, which is now one of the most important archaeological sites. Initially, the Elamite language was called Anzani, and later on, Sumerian and Semitic languages became popular. However, after a while, the Anzani language was revived and used again. The Anzani language was common among the people and held a prominent place during the Achaemenid period. The Elamite language was deciphered in 1890, and researchers found that its script was pictographic. As we mentioned earlier, it was combined with Sumerian cuneiform, and later on, it was merged with other scripts, including Babylonian. This language and script still remain undeciphered. The king of Assyria was looking for a reason to go to war with the Elamites, so he sent someone to Elam with demands that would have meant death for the Elamite king if he accepted them. One of these demands was for the statue of Neperesu, the queen of Elam, which had been in Iran for 1,635 years. The Elamite king couldn't agree to that and decided to resist. In the mid-7th century BC, the powerful Assyrian king Ashurbanipal invaded the Elamite territory. They looted everything valuable in the city and sent it back to their own cities, completely destroying the city of Shush. So, in 639 BC, the ancient Elamite civilization, after thousands of years of resisting powerful peoples like the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, was defeated by their enemy, Assyria, and disappeared from the pages of history.
Thank you for watching this video. If there's a specific topic you'd like us to talk about, please let us know in the comments. Your feedback means a lot to us.